It really has been an amazing few weeks. A couple of weekends ago, we had the 150th anniversary reenactment of the Battle of Franklin. And it was cold. Warmed up a little on Saturday. I think, hopefully, would agree that it was a great event. Unfortunately, Sunday, the weather did not participate, but we moved on. And then we had about a week to catch our breaths of November as we commemorated and are commemorating what happened here 150 years ago. Last night, I had the opportunity to take part in an event here at Carnton that was one of the most moving experiences most of the people that I talk to have ever experienced. The house was set up as a hospital scene, wounded soldiers in the home. And it was a stark reminder of not just the battle, but the battle's aftermath. That when the fighting subsided, some of the suffering was just beginning. And then the weather cooperated. Look at it. Look how beautiful this is. It's nearly 70 degrees. It's clearing off. And as we finish and you turn around and you walk out into the field and you see the luminaries, which will remain up until 9 o'clock. And the luminaries will remain up near Carter House along Columbia Pike until 9. The homes will open up at 5:30. They will remain open until 9. I would ask everyone to please pace yourselves. We can't get everyone through the house at once. So be patient. Go through the home, walk through the luminaries, walk the grounds, move back and forth between the sites. Because although it has been a hectic, wonderful, exciting couple of weeks, couple of months, and in some ways, a couple of years of preparing for this anniversary date, the commemorative events are over. Once we finish here tonight for the 150th, as far as Franklin is concerned, the sesquicentennial is not yet over. There will be other events. Construction era, which is a painful part of history. But the reenactments are over. The living historian presentations in the house are finished. And in some ways, the speeches for many of us are over. Although I wish I could hear Bill sing all the time. Because those words really echo so much of what many people, for many organizations, for many years, have tried to accomplish. And I touched on this briefly at Carter House. This is simply an American story. And what was happening here 150 years ago across these fields in that direction, and then as the wounded began to come back and the fighting raged into the darkness, was a tragic, terrible, awful event. But it was an American event. And it was not just a Southern story and just a Northern story. It was an American story. But the commemorative events are now complete. And as you walk around tonight, really reflect on what was happening in 1864. Reflect on how close this nation, with all of its imperfections and struggles, still the greatest country in the world, and how close it came to disintegrating, and how close it came to vanishing from the earth, and how so many people across the globe were watching our Civil War, curious and hopeful that we would fail. The kings and the dictators and the aristocrats all watching us, convinced that people weren't smart enough to govern themselves, they would just fight amongst themselves and destroy themselves. We proved them wrong. And as Van eloquently stated, let freedom ring. Because with the conclusion of this long, terrible war, those who had survived it and their families slowly began the process of trying to repair their own lives and by proxy beginning to repair the United States. But of course it would take generations and generations and generations. And in some ways, we still deal with some of the aftershocks of the war, but it impacts all of us every day, whether we know it or whether we do not. The Civil War is not relevant just because there were interesting characters and fantastic battles. It is because it is the quintessential American story. It is our great struggle to fulfill the promises. The idea became a reality after the Civil War. So take as much time as you'd like. We have hours for everyone. No more speeches. Quiet, solitude, and soak it in. Because this is your history. This is our story. I want to thank everyone for coming out, everyone who has supported us, everyone who has taken part in the events. And don't forget, tomorrow might be December 1st, but our work continues. We have years of work ahead to reclaim more of the battlefield. This story is far from being complete. Thank you very much.